The loud crack of a baton smashing against the windshield of a black Rolls-Royce echoed through the quiet suburban neighborhood like a gunshot. A second blow followed, spidering the glass as a white uniformed police officer grunted with effort. He had no warrant, no backup, no probable cause. And yet, with alarming rage, he continued to strike the luxury vehicle parked innocently in a driveway. Before we continue, if you are watching our video for the first time, you're highly welcome to Elliot Stories. Please bless and support us by hitting that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more edifying stories coming your way tomorrow and never miss any. Share to friends who love stories filled with twist and morals and loved ones who love respect and justice no matter the cost. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story travels. To our unique constant viewers, our high esteemed subscribers, lovely new viewers and our first time subscribers, thank you for being part of our journey. Your support is why we keep bringing you stories that matter. The officer, Sergeant Brent Lawson, paused to catch his breath. A neighbor across the street watched in frozen horror, phone raised but too afraid to speak. On the porch stood a calm black woman, arms folded, her tailored black suit spotless, her expression unreadable. She watched her car being desecrated like someone watching a storm they predicted, but couldn't stop. She said nothing. Sergeant Lawson pointed his baton at her. "You're under suspicion. Fraudulent ownership. You think someone like you can own this kind of car? We're investigating this vehicle." "Do you have a warrant, Sergeant?" she asked coldly. "I don't need one. You just wait. You'll be in cuffs soon enough." She raised a brow. "Do proceed. I'm interested in how this ends." He narrowed his eyes and stepped forward, lowering his voice. "Or maybe we can work something out. I'd hate for this to turn into a full investigation. You know how things can spiral." There it was, the blackmail. The veiled threat. "I'll be making some calls," she said, turning to open her door. "Do that," he barked, "but don't think that's going to stop what's already in motion." Within hours, the video of the assault on the car had gone viral. It was raw, clear, and indisputable. A police officer destroying private property, with no justification. What the officer didn't know was that the woman he tried to intimidate wasn't just anyone. She was Judge Nadine Calloway. Federal judge. Harvard Law. Decorated legal mind. And she wasn't going to let this slide. By nightfall, Brent Lawson's precinct received a formal complaint from the United States Department of Justice. The Internal Affairs Unit was ordered to open an immediate investigation. Local news crews swarmed the neighborhood, while internet sleuths dug up Sergeant Lawson's record, revealing a pattern of aggressive behavior, particularly toward black citizens. But Nadine didn't stop at reports. She filed criminal charges. The trial was set within weeks. And unlike many stories of injustice that end in bureaucratic shrugs, this one gathered storm-level momentum. Nadine made sure every procedural loophole was sealed. She recused herself from any judicial influence, but her legal team was relentless. The courtroom was packed the day Lawson stood trial. Cameras weren't allowed, but the world was watching. The prosecution presented crystal-clear footage. They brought forward witnesses, including neighbors, one of whom was a retired Navy commander. "He never even asked her name," the commander testified. "He came in like a wrecking ball. Like he saw a black face and assumed she couldn't own a car like that." Lawson's defense tried everything, claimed emotional stress, argued there had been a call about a suspicious vehicle. But there was number 911 log to support it. Then came the blackmail claim. Nadine's legal team presented an audio recording captured by her smart home security system, which picked up every word he had said to her that morning. It was damning. "Maybe we can work something out." The courtroom gasped. The judge overseeing the case, a Hispanic woman known for her no-nonsense courtroom demeanor, looked directly at Lawson. "Do you understand the severity of what you did, officer? You attempted to intimidate and blackmail a federal judge. You destroyed her private property based on racial bias. And worse, you abused the authority entrusted to you by the badge." The jury took less than 4 hours to return with a unanimous guilty verdict. The sentencing was just as swift. He was ordered to pay full restitution for the damages to the vehicle, a personal public apology to Judge Calloway, and an additional $250,000 in punitive damages. But more than that, he was fired. Not just fired, blacklisted. His badge was stripped, pension frozen, and he was permanently barred from working in law enforcement. The story didn't just end there. It sparked a wider investigation into his precinct. Within months, 2 other officers were suspended, and new training protocols were enforced statewide. Nadine used her experience to push forward a judicial reform initiative focusing on police misconduct. The movement gained traction across the country. But through it all, Nadine never raised her voice. She let the system speak for her. With precision. With power. With undeniable justice. People began sharing her story with hashtags like #JusticeWithDignity and #JudgeNadine. Students quoted her in law schools. Communities used her case as an example of how dignity, strategy, and unwavering belief in due process could dismantle injustice. And in the same neighborhood where it all began, the once quiet street had changed. People felt empowered. Neighbors who once looked away now stood up. Children on the block asked their parents what a federal judge does, and they learned. The lesson wasn't just about racism, though it was at the core. It was about assumption. It was about power misused, and truth rising in response. It was about how one moment of hatred could unravel a man's entire career, not through retaliation, but through accountability. Judge Nadine Calloway never gloated. She never lashed out. She simply showed the world what justice looked like when it wore grace. And that's the story we carry with us. Moral lesson. The officer assumed the black woman didn't deserve to own a luxury car simply because of how she looked. His prejudice cost him everything. Appearances can deceive. Character, not color, determines worth. This story was humbly crafted and brought to you by Elliot Stories. Catch you on the next one. Elliot Stories appreciates your constant support.